Hello. I am recording this video so that I can show everybody in my Adventure Awaits campaign how to set up macros and how to make simple macros for your character that you may find useful to avoid having to open up your character sheet and manually click on some of your more common things every time. So macros are like a little list of commands which you can activate in a single button. If you look down here to the bottom left corner of my screen, you can see these little buttons are all macros that I've made. And an example of a macro that you've seen me use many times is initiative. If you look over here, it has me say roll for initiative, and then it has me roll a d20, and then I can roll more d20s as needed for other characters. So another example would be player AC. This is one where I have to whisper to me all of the player's ACs, and this one updates dynamically. So I can always be reminded of what y'all's ACs are if I ever want to, think of it for a specific character, but I don't want to spend the time opening up a character sheet. You can even create macros that involve rolls that are modified by a certain value from a character sheet. For example, if I click on Perception, this is Owen rolling a perception check. As you can see, it's got the +5, which is imported directly from Owen's character sheet. And so if I go over here to Owen's character sheet, let's say that he was to have a +2 bonus from some random place. All right, and I will change this later. If I click on this again, you can see now it rolls a d20 +7. So it's smart. It will automatically adjust as needed whenever changes happen to the character sheet without having to go and click on perception from the character sheet directly, like you may have been having to do in the past. So you can have these little buttons down here at the corner that are saved macros, which you can put easy things for your character and not have to open up your character sheet and manually click it every single time. So like initiative, perception, maybe your main attack roll, maybe a skill that you use very frequently. You could even put all of your main skills down here. The bar can extend all the way across the screen if you want it. So it's very, very handy for that, and I'm going to show you how to make one. So if you go over here, it's the second to the rightmost tab up here at the top right corner. You'll see where it says macros, and you just go ahead and click add. And you type up the name of your macro, sample macro, and you type out the actions on one command per line. So this would just be a roll d20 +5. Test macro does exactly what it says on the box. And then you click Save Changes. So going back to the macro page, you can see I now have my sample macro here, and I just click in bar. And now, if you go down to the bottom left-hand corner, you can see it says sample macro right there. Clicking that does the same thing, rolls a d20 +5. So that's great for simple stuff, but what happens if you want to create one of those cool macros like I showed with Owen's perception that dynamically updates itself based on the values in the character sheet? In that case, here's an example of what that looks like. It would be /roll d20 plus, and then you do at curly brace, the name of your character with proper spacing, both if your character has a first and last name, as it appears on the journal, then that's what you should write down here. So in here, you can see the characters section. Whatever you put as your character name in the characters section, not on the sheet, itself necessarily. That is what you should put down in this section. Then you'll see this little line right here, this upright line. You put one of those, and that separates the character from the attribute. Then to the right of that, you put your attribute, which is perception. It could be anything, though. You can, for example, put down AC. And you can see that this is rolling a d20 plus 18, which is Owen's AC. You could put down, let me see, I think will. Will doesn't work, does it? Let me see, what is his will save? Is 0. No, it did work. Okay, yay. So you would just do REF for reflex, FORT for fort, WILL for will, all caps. Okay, I saw the +0 and I thought maybe it didn't work, but it did. So you could potentially have all of your saves, all your attacks, all your skills, all your whatever you wanted down here. Or if you didn't want to have all of them, you could have at least ones that you think that you will use very frequently. So like Magpie might want to make one for sneak, because, or stealth, what is it called? Yeah, it's stealth, isn't it? There we go. Stealth, because she likes to sneak around. Additionally, with macros, if we go back to the, we'll go back to the perception one, you can include multiple lines. So, for example, you could write /GM Whisper, this is my perception. Or this is Owen's perception. And then we can save changes and test down here from the left-hand side. Oh, no, it's not GM Whisper. Whoops, it's Whisper GM. /WGM. There we go. And you can see it'll whisper to me, this is Owen's perception, and then it rolls it. So that's how you make macros in using the Roll20 interface. And I'm hoping that this will be as useful for you as it is for me. Remember, the format whenever you want to make a macro that involves any player attribute is as follows. At curly bracket, then character name bar attribute. There we go. Curly bracket. And that will pull up the attribute. And you can add it to rolls using the plus as well. So, if any of you wants any help with making some macros for your character, I'm happy to make them for you if you so desire. I can just write them out and copy them over to you. Otherwise, I hope that you will find this as useful as I have found it. And I'm already trying to beef up on my list of macros to help myself. Ever since I found out that you could link attributes from a character sheet directly, that's going to be very useful. But I was thinking it might be useful for y'all, and also might be a way of kind of saving time and not having to play with your character sheet open quite as frequently. If you have any questions, let me know, and catch you later.